When you're trying to heal your marriage from infidelity or addiction, there are several moments where the impatience can just be overwhelming. It can produce in you an anger, a venom where, you want to punch that steering wheel. You want to throw that phone or throw this or throw that. There becomes this impatience and this emotion that wells up inside of you, regardless of what side of the equation that you're on. And it produces this frustration that makes you kind of do stupid things, makes you say stupid things, makes you lash out, makes you want to make decisions out of vengeance and out of red hot rage, if you will, not out of wisdom. Today's video is not for you that maybe are utilizing expert work. You have an expert process, you're seeing someone who's an expert, you're taking a course, you're doing things that are infidelity specific, but yet you are just kind of impatient. This is not for you that are like, hey, we're doing all the right things. It's just maybe I'm just not happy with where we're at. We're not where we need to be yet. And every situation is different. Some of you have been at this for 2 weeks. Some of you have been at this for 2 years. Some of you have been doing this trying to heal for 10 years. And I get that. But this is not for you that are doing the right work, but are just kind of like, well, I wish we were further along. This video is for you that are like, look, it's not working. The writing is on the wall. Like, I'm trying to deny the fact that we're not kind of a mess, but we are. Today, I want to talk to you that are like, look, we're a mess. Like, I'm so frustrated that we're not gaining ground. There comes a point, and there came a point for Samantha and I several times where we had to own the fact that what we were doing was not working. And maybe that's you. Maybe you're at a point where you're like, look, we're doing X and X isn't working. We're doing Y. Y is a fiasco. And you are the ones that I really want to try and reach today and help you feel understood, help you feel a sense of, okay, he gets it. I feel like some other human being understands the pain and the agony that I am experiencing. And then I want to give you some things that you can actually do. When we get stuck, we do a few things. We grin and bear it. We suck it up. We make it work. We, in our own kind of willpower, say, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make them love me. I'm going to make them want me. I'm going to make them get it. I'm going to make them be compassionate. I'm going to make them see how they've hurt me, or I'm going to make them see the suffering that I'm experiencing. We try and take the bull by the horns, and we are going to make them get it, unfaithful or betrayed. I assure you, that's a recipe for disaster. And it just really almost never, ever works. If that mentality doesn't work, we then resort to blaming, right? If they would do X, or if they would do Y, or if they would just do this, we would be in a much better place. It's on them, it's their fault. Or we resort to self-pity, and we just continue to sink into this sense of feeling sorry for ourselves. And we become a victim, and now we're a victim of so many things, and we stay victimized. Today, my hope is that you understand, look, there comes a point where you have to look at the situation and go, it's not working. We're seeing a general therapist. We're just kind of doing this little program. We're trying this, we're trying that. It's just not working. Maybe the problem is not your spouse or partner. Maybe the problem is not yourself. Maybe you are denying the fact that what you're doing isn't working, and it's time for a new method. It's time for a new approach. It's time for a new rule of engagement in terms of the trauma and the pain and the frustration that you're dealing with. One of the biggest struggles in recovery work for Samantha and I, specifically for me, was this mentality that says, this is how it's supposed to go. I had all these kind of decisions that I wasn't even really completely conscious of this is what it's supposed to look like, this is how it's supposed to go, and this is how it's going to go. And we're going to be awesome, we're going to be great, everything's going to be so good down the road. It doesn't go like that. It didn't go like that. Many of you are probably going, yes, Sam, it doesn't go like that. It's okay that it's not going like that. I hope that you can take a deep breath. I hope that you can embrace that verbiage that it's okay that it's not going the way you want it to go. Most of the time it doesn't go the way you want it to go. It usually goes at a speed that you're not in charge of. It usually comes through a medium that you're not in charge of. It usually comes in a way that you almost didn't even see coming. But it does come if you get the right help. But there comes a point where you have to have a very humble, very teachable, non-prideful mindset that says, look, we have felt married to this approach and it's not worked. We need a new approach. We've had our mind made up that we're going to do this and this is going to work. And then it didn't. And now you kind of go, well, I guess we're doomed. No, you're not. Maybe that method wasn't the best method. There comes a point where I think you have to get serious and go, look, I'm not going to mess around anymore with just general help, shortcuts, and just kind of throwing some activity here and there. I'm not just going to check the boxes. I'm not just going to kind of be somewhat engaged and maybe show up for a course every now and then, or kind of read a little bit here, read a little bit there. My friends, let me just appeal to you today. This is going to take an absolute relentless approach to be healed. Healing does not come easy. Now, many of you over the months and years have looked at Samantha and said, she's gorgeous, she's beautiful, she's a ray of light. Some of you have been incredibly gracious and just said, she's a hero of mine and all of that. She always tells me to tell you, thank you. But I will tell you, it came with a great price, an incredible price. Healing always comes with a price. If you're going to be healed of anything in life, it's going to require a price tag that you probably don't see. It's only as we start to get down the road, it's only after we start to do the work, it's only after we start to really labor that we kind of go, man, I did not know it was going to cost this much. That's normal. If you're feeling that, if you're kind of like, I thought it was going to be this, it's far more expensive. It's costing me more than I ever thought it would cost me. I just want to validate you today. I just want to tell you, you're probably on the right track. You're probably right where you need to be if it's costing you a lot, because great healing does not come easy. Great healing does not come cheap. Great healing is not on your own timeline that you're in charge of. Great healing comes through immense sacrifice, immense patience, immense compassion with yourself and with your significant other. Let me just affirm you and tell you, if it hurts like hell, maybe you're doing things right. If it's frustrating, if it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 5 steps back, 6 steps forward, and then it's 1, 1, 1. You know what? That's normal. It's part of the process. No, I'm not justifying someone acting out. I'm not justifying relapse. I'm not just saying suck it up and get over it. I'm just telling you that our timelines that we have for ourselves are usually insufficient to be examples of what your recovery is going to look like. And then we get really down. And then we want to quit, we want to give up, and we just think, man, why am I doing X, Y, and Z? Well, before you get too far down that road, let me just ask you, why are you doing what you're doing? Are you doing what you're doing just to kind of save money? Are you doing what you're doing because it's just convenient, or you've maybe just kind of always done it that way? Are you doing what you're doing because you just feel like, well, I got to do something? That's probably not going to bring the breakthrough and the healing that you so desperately need, so desperately want, and quite honestly, so desperately deserve. If you say, Sam, look, we're doing an infidelity-specific approach. I mean, we're really getting help from experts. We're maybe on affairrecovery.com or things like that, really laboring. Then look, this isn't for you. Maybe it's, hey, keep going, don't quit, keep trusting the process and stay faithful to the vision of restoration or even just healing for yourself. But if you're in a situation where you're like, look, man, I'm doing this kind of duct tape, jimmy rig thing. I thought it would work, but it's not. Stop doing it. Stop denying the fact that it's not working. Own the fact that it's not working and decide that you're going to spend any amount of money You'll go into debt if you need to. You'll beg, borrow, deal, whatever you got to do. You'll sell whatever you need to sell to get expert help, to start to actually gain ground. Now, I know immediately you might say, well, look, I'm doing that, but my partner, significant other, spouse is not. As we've talked about time and time again, I get it, but you got to work on you and you got to stay faithful to you. You can't control them. And so don't get sucked into saying, well, now I'm going to start to really try and control them and no, that won't work. Stay faithful to take care of you, be compassionate upon yourself, and set a date where you come to the point where you say, look, I can no longer live this way. I don't know what that date is for you, but maybe it's not time to decide right now what you do with the relationship. Maybe it's time to decide what you do with your repair work. Maybe it's time to go to the next level. Maybe it's time to just rest in where you're at and say, look, I'm not going to keep spinning my wheels trying to make them get it. I can't. I'm going to own the fact that I can't make them get it. I get it, and I'm going to keep getting it and do all that I can for me. I hope that you don't feel alone today. I hope that you can understand that what you're feeling is normal. It's up to you to decide where you go from here. But rest assured, you don't have to do this alone. Go to affairrecovery.com. There's online courses that you can take from all over the world. There's free articles and resources. Get help so that you don't feel alone.